This is the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. Let's go and let's do this. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good. You know what? You know what's not good, though, man? I'm going to tell you this. I forgot to tell you last week when Jeromy was on. But, dude, I just took a family vacation to Northwest Minnesota. I mentioned this before. Everybody's got a cabin. I think I mentioned I was going to go there.
Yeah.
But, dude, it is mosquito city up there, man.
I bet.
My legs are toe up from the flow up. I tell you what. And it's like just like my ankles and calves that look like I got like leprosy. That's how it's tore up.
That's terrible.
Oh my gosh, man.
This year hasn't been bad for me. Like I've gotten, a few throughout, but nothing too bad. But yeah, like my girlfriend's kids, man, they have gotten it awful. Like it just eats them up. So
I don't play with that. With my kids, I'm just like, you're gonna smell like bugs because I ain't dealing with that because they'll just like scratch open sores.
But like, no, I mean they coat the bug spray and it still happens. It's crazy. So just some people, man, I don't know. But
I don't got them out here though.
Yeah,
I don't have them in nothing, not at all.
Really? But up there, okay.
No, it's because I got bats.
Oh, that's right. The bats.
Dude,
oh man,
because apparently they eat like, I don't know, like over 100,000. A bat will eat like something odd. Like it's so out there. Like I'm like, this can't be real.
Yeah,
I read something that said they eat like over 100,000 mosquitoes a night. Like how the heck is that possible?
Wow.
Right? I know.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, and how do we still have mosquitoes? That's what I'm saying.
Bats are nocturnal and mosquitoes aren't.
Yeah. So, all right then.
No, but it was a fun time, man. I tell you what, it's it was cool, but it was challenging because I'm up there and my uncle does not believe in air conditioning.
Oh, one of those.
At all.
Trying to save. Like we're gonna save money on this. Like, dude, you already paid.
He's retired. He's retired. It's like, no, you already know. You're like, what are you gonna do? Take the money with you? He's done, man. And it's like 93 degrees, and I'm in one room with both my kids and my wife. Like, it was like, it was bad, man. It was bad.
Yeah.
And then it started storming, so you got to shut the windows.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You open the windows, then mosquitoes come in. And then it's just then you got random noises, outdoor noises. I know. It's crazy, man. So when did you come back? Sunday or Monday or what?
Monday night. It was like 2. I got back at like midnight. But not
this
one. It was like a week ago.
It was a week ago. Okay, yeah. I put them all together. Cool, man. Cool. But overall, it was a good time.
Overall, it was a good time. But you know what, though? My wife doesn't believe me that I'm a good fisherman because she always wants to go fishing at like 1 p.m. when it's like it's 90 degrees.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And she wants to go like in the center of the lake. I'm like, you're not going to catch any fish there. Right? For those who don't know that, like, fish, this is going to sound stupid. For those who don't understand, I'm going to teach you guys a little bit about lake fishing. All right? It's a little different. All right? Fish are like people as to how they eat. People do not want to eat all the time when it's 90 plus degrees and you're beaten hot in the sun, right? And like, no.
Correct.
But when it's super cold, wet and dreary, they want comfort food, just like fish do. So you can find certain kind of fish. You can find monsters like under a dock, by the weeds, in kind of like the shaded, cool area. That's why they say the early worm gets the fish, because you go out there like 5 a.m. and there's like no boats on the water.
Yep.
And you can go out there. It's nice and cool. You can get yourself some good fish.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah. So
man,
there's a little something.
Sorry,
like
I've been watching King of the Hill, and as like and one of the episodes. You guys just need to go on Hulu, watch King of the Hill, and watch one of the first 5 episodes of season 1 where he's fishing. And
what do you do?
You've never seen it?
I've seen this show.
Worms aren't working for him, so he tries to go to an underground bait shop to find something that will help him. And he ends up, instead of going to the bait shop, to the guy who sells out of his truck, he instead buys from the drug dealer and is using crack for fishing, and it is hilarious. It is hilarious. So I'm just telling, you need to check that one out. That's so funny. But yeah, man, my weekend was pretty busy and pretty fun too. I mean, just a lot going on with, obviously we had like our first karate birthday party that we had, which was interesting, trying to space all the kids out and keep masks on and all this stuff.
You held a birthday party at the karate school.
Yeah. So that was interesting, but it was fun. You know, of course we had several of the kids that backed out last minute, things like that, but you know how it is. It's all right. Just as long as the people that were there had fun and everybody was safe. So we did that. And then that evening I had the second part of my seminar series. So that went really well. Gotten a lot of, good feedback from both of those series. And, had several karate schools that did it and just brought their whole class in and to do it. And then, we had like over 40 on the first week, and then like 20 or 30 on the next one, depending on how many kids and everything were in each group. So it was pretty good, for trying it, and also trying to get something different, especially with the Korean style one. But we're going to try to do more and more of that. And several of those schools are wanting me to do like my own, just for their school only, and just, so that's a way that
I think you should have been doing that from the start. I like that.
Oh yeah, of course. So you do it to push that, you know how it is. I mean, especially now, instructors are getting more like, okay, I figured this out and I understand it can work and my students can learn. But in the beginning, first 2 or 3 months, let's just wait till this dies down and we'll bring you in. I was like, okay, but it's just, I mean, do you realize how much you're going to save and I'm going to save and we all save time? I mean, it's a good way, especially with people from overseas too. So talking to schools from England to get something going, that type of thing, because guess what? It saves them tons instead of having to fly me over there. And,
now, have you done that yet?
What, like been flown over somewhere?
No. Have you done like the lessons with some schools in England yet?
No, not yet. This is all set. I'm setting it up. They did it during the seminar. So they had their 5 or 6 students doing the seminar with the other ones going. That's
good.
And then now it's like, okay, it was kind of like the handshake or the hello, to get started to do that. Yep. So it's pretty cool.
I'm curious as to
options, man.
Like there's not an actual language barrier, but there's a dialect barrier.
There's a dialect barrier. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So,
I mean, I tell you, I think I might have mentioned this before, but my stepdad is from Aberdeen, Mississippi. Okay.
Yes.
Very south. I never have a problem understanding him. Not one bit. His brother.
Yeah.
It's so I basically got myself resigned to when he and I are talking, I have to just stop and then reprocess what he said very slowly to get on the same page, because otherwise I'm just saying what every single sentence. And he got so angry, and I'm like, man, Jamal, I just can't understand the words you're saying.
I understand that.
And that's just Mississippi.
Oh, it's bad.
That's not another country.
All right, so like Mississippi's bad. Louisiana is the Cajun dialect is crazy, and then Southern Georgia, is insane. Like
Southern Georgia's like that.
Yeah, again, Corky Sykes, just half people can't even understand a word he's saying. So, and a lot of his students are even worse. So it's funny. And then there's a little section of Western North Carolina that's just as bad. Like the twang is so long and drawn out that it's like, okay, at the beginning of that word, I thought I knew it, but then when you finish it, I don't know what you're saying now.
I have actually heard a little bit of that. Yeah. It is interesting. It makes me giggle a little bit.
Oh, it's crazy. All right, so here's one more thing. Have you guys started church back yet, going in?
Yeah, but it's hard though, because
I know.
we haven't been able to go because it's so, I don't understand. Tell me how this makes sense, right? Yeah, I'm going to get a little upset right now, okay? Our family can't go because they don't have the child care center open.
Right.
Because they're concerned that with a child care center, there's going to be tons of germs. Accurate. I get that.
Yeah.
So why the heck are daycare centers open?
But
why
it's
daycare centers themselves open, which I saw one today, and I was just kind of walking. I had to go walk down and go get something from it was like a restaurant or something like that. It was right down from where I was. And I look, and there's, outside, you see outside the back, all the kids are playing. The two, like, workers or daycare centers or teachers or whatever, they got masks.
No one else does,
because the kids, like, come on now.
Well,
man,
they don't need it.
But like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
And basically, kids are just like walking up, with drool, hugging each other. It's just ridiculous. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
right,
it's
I'm gonna
tough,
get
man.
out of rant. And it's gonna go nowhere good.
That's why, like, they have to limit how many. There's just certain things that places, if you really want to make it work, you got to put in place. That's why I think the martial arts schools that are doing camps and doing like the distance learning centers and things like that they're going to start doing are going to have the advantage because they have structure, they have discipline, they are actually teaching more than what daycares are. There's just so much more and more opportunity for growth.
I get you.
And so I think just if you just run it the way you would your martial arts class with a little bit more fun, you'll be all right, But so we this is our second week that we've gone back to live, like actual face-to-face church.
That's good.
I've worked the booth both times, and it's been one job that used to be really hard is super easy now. The other job that used to be super easy is now like the hardest one. The Facebook Live one, like the live stream one, is super hard now because we have like 4 cameras now, and you have to flip back and forth, and you do different things.
Yeah.
And so you're a little bit more active than before. You're just kind of doing this and put up the lyrics. The weirdest thing is that, like, we have to record the music on Tuesday and then play it there because we're not allowed to sing publicly or whatever. So in Virginia, and part of it is the denomination has its own rules that they have to do. So it's really different, man. Yeah.
See, I kind of went through a little bit of that, and then we should get back on to like.
Yeah, I know. But I think that's a good
this
topic
one's
because,
funny. My wife and I used to go to a different church that I don't know, you might call it like a mega church, just because they had a lot of different campuses that wanted to be a part of it. So anyway, that one was big, it was huge, and then we ended up being a part of a community with this church that was so much smaller. Kid you not, this is gonna sound like a joke. I promise it's not. All right. Pastor is the coolest guy ever, Pastor Joe. Oh man, he's cooler than the other side of the pillow, I'll tell you that. But anyway, the church is small to the point where, when we would lock down, like, all right, we got to record all of our services. He didn't have any tech, like nothing,
any at all,
right?
Oh wow!
So this guy, promise you,
that's a big
took
jump,
an iPhone, duct taped it to a broomstick, and sat in his chair. Promise you, that's what it was.
That's awesome.
When he said that, I'm like, there's no freaking way. There's no way, right? He's saying that, like, he just said it, like, in passing, like, as he's recording it. And then I talked to him later, and he goes, no, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
I don't have any stands or anything like that. And I'm like, my goodness. That's
so
good.
Cool.
Hey,
all right.
Last week we had Jeromy Roque on the show, man. What'd you think?
That was so much fun. That was a lot of fun, man. That was it was a different type of, I wouldn't even really call it an interview. It was more of like a chat. Like
a guest, man.
Yeah.
He was one of us.
It was so cool. And several things that we kind of thought we were going to get into, we didn't. And we
got into a whole bunch more.
And we got into some things the next day, just kind of explaining stuff for the live show. So that was fun as well. But I love talking to Jeromy, man. I love talking to Jeromy. He's just a great guy. He wants to improve the sport. And then we kept kind of bringing up the topic was just that balance of being someone that pushes the sport this way, but also like being competitive and wanting to win, And honestly, to me though, I think that's what makes him a good promoter. That's what makes him a good ambassador for our sport, because he has that competitive drive to win at no cost. You know what I mean? And I mean, just no matter what. And that's what we have to do when it comes to promoting. You know, you got to take those risks. If you really want to grow, you can't just say, "Hey, we've always done this. Well, this works for us, and we'll just stick to this." And you know, because it works for us. You got to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. You know, and so his personality as a competitor and as a martial artist works really well. You know, on that. You know, I think so. You got to have that drive. So,
dude, I say all the time, he posts what I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I have the ability to just say whatever the heck I want.
Yeah,
and he does it like the stuff I think about. I don't even say. Like he's already out there with it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, guy, you're on top of it.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, Jeremy's really cool, man, and I'm glad we got to talk about his competitive side, and just clear some things up, some cool stuff about the whole velocity thing and the Miami thing and the Orlando thing, and because we haven't really gotten to dive into that yet, so that was really cool, like the rivalry, you know, and how he was always.
I opened up some stuff unintentionally. I didn't even know. I was just like, man, I remember watching you and Ray Mendoza go, oh, you guys, that was super cool. Didn't realize I was opening up.
Yeah.
Like
well, see, my first question about the whole velocity thing was I was hoping he would get into that, you know, and he kind of went a different way with it. So, which he did several different times, you know. It was kind of like, in the beginning, I was like, hey, so what have you done with the league recently, you know, with this going on? And he went into the history. So, but, I mean, we got into all of it. So it was great, man.
So he just had his event.
Yep. They had another tournament. So looks like it was successful. Rashad won the Fighting Grands. Rashad Eugene.
See, this guy's got to fight more. He really does.
He does, though. He fights. I think he fights every tournament.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
Well, he doesn't.
I know it from the team. I know the team because I talk to the team a lot. I like Chino a lot. And he and I talk a little bit about the team because I got a guy who's close with me, who's on the team. So I talk to him a little bit about it. I don't coach him.
True.
No way.
Right.
That would be overstepping bounds. But Rashad doesn't fight all the time. But he's so talented, and he's so gifted in how he creates forms. And especially weapons. I mean, my goodness.
It's weapons. Yeah.
He's also a talented fighter. And I feel like maybe sometimes to him, maybe this is it. This is just a theory of mine. Fighting doesn't peak. It doesn't challenge him mentally as much. Maybe. I don't know. I have no clue if that's what it is. But I think he does so many creative things in his performances that fighting for him maybe doesn't do the same thing for him creatively.
It's almost like you have to stick to certain things in fighting, and it's like he wants to kind of go outside of that. That may be it. You know.
Did you ever feel like that?
I kind of felt like that at times, but I also know that for me, I let certain things as a fighter like hold me back, and I shouldn't. Like my mindset for forms where, I mean, I told you all the time, I don't care that I can't flip. Who cares? Like, I'm going to beat you no matter what.
Yeah, you were still in business.
Yeah, like it didn't matter. For some reason, like I didn't have that mindset in the fighting. Like I used now eventually I learned how to. And I really did that big time with continuous. And I just kind of eventually just kind of learned how to do that and push. But, you know, again, the hardest thing for me was not having sparring partners, because those years I really started getting better. Again, like I said, I had no school for 10 years, and I would fight almost every tournament. So
you would just go from tournament
to tournament
with no fighting in between.
Right.
I think I've done that like 2 or 3 times in my life.
Yeah.
And I think it was injury related why I couldn't fight in between. Like I wasn't even supposed to be fighting in general. And I was just like, what the heck is a few matches going to do? Yeah, it does something.
No, it does. It definitely does. It definitely does. But yeah, man. So, I mean, I think I've seen him fight. He's got talent, and you know, he may be the one that, you know, does it regionally or whatever, because I guess I've kind of been the same way. But I think eventually he's going to get that drive to be like, all right, not necessarily he has something to prove to everyone else, but to himself, you know, because I felt like that too. So, yeah. But yeah, man, it looks like the tournament was good. Another successful as far as ran wise and everything. And here's another thing that they did that was the first time ever.
Go for it.
So they actually had a division, and they had select competitors that had been following all their virtual tournaments, and they were competing against the people that were there. So they actually had a mix of virtual, first time ever, virtual and live tournament mixed. So say they had the 11 and under, they had the 11 under division, and they had, you know, the first 4 go. Number 5 was from Canada, Caleb Boyle, and he goes and does his form. And they watch and do it, judge. He ended up winning and beating everyone that was there. It's the next level, man. It's the next step. So it was really cool to see that. I was surprised, and I was like, oh, all right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, Jeromy just pushes it, you know. So I'm excited for him and for everything going on. And then this weekend is Richard Osborne's tournament. So he always pushes the envelope. So there's a lot going on with that. What's the next thing? Like, the next thing coming up.
Speaking of the next level.
Yeah, is Jesse Roy's thing, man. So if you guys haven't checked out CTE, go and check it out. They heard from Toby Ruth talking about Bad Atlanta. And then also Jesse
Toby's
Ray
got to change the settings on his iPhone, though.
Yes, he does.
Tell you what. It's all right, Toby.
Does.
I get it, because we've all been a part of group text messages before. You just got to go to your settings, man, and just put it on. Put it on, I don't know, silent. It's an idea. Just saying, I get it, though.
Oh,
There's just too many dings.
Yeah, too many dings. Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah. You'll know.
No. You know the first thought though was for me was that, oh crap, I've been out because I did text people that night, text the group.
You thought it was you?
I thought it was like, oh crap, that's me. Oh crap, that's me. Yeah, it was so funny. I'm sitting there like, okay, I need to not do that. Then once it kind of went and we found out it was from Toby's phone, then I was like, okay, good. Just breathe.
Yeah, you just gotta put that thing on mute, man.
Yeah.
Because I've texted them during the show before, not realizing like, oh yeah, duh, they're doing the show. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, like right now we have a group text going on in our wrestling group text, and so I'm not watching any of it. So, so all right, Jesse Ray's thing, man, this is cool.
I'm super stoked because he's gonna have a couple of things happening that really haven't had a lot of success, but I think in sport karate before, but I think are probably going to be successful. One is the set matches, right? Everybody wants the set matches. Sometimes they've been successful and they've lived up to the hype of the match. There's a lot of times the outcome of that match or the match itself is not. Sometimes, more times, just the fight happening organically really is better. I used to be a huge advocate for it. Yeah, we need tons of set matches. Of course, set matches are going to be awesome. And Richard Plowden, I think I might have mentioned this before. Richard Plowden changed my mind. He says, you're missing the story. The story of the event. The
path. Yeah.
You are moving that by just having this guy versus this guy. And I'm like, oh, wow, you're right. It doesn't tell the story, right? Because there's that guy that gets hot.
There is a story behind the reason why. Yeah, I mean, that's what you have to look at. You can't just like, oh, I really want to see these two people fight. No. Hey, the past 2 fights, these guys have late hit each other 7 or 8 times. You know, that thing ends up being a better story. You know, like there's things like that. But I tell you what, though,
I would definitely pay to watch this set match before I watch any UFC event.
Oh, right.
That's how into it I'm going to be.
I'm not going to say this is the first time like there's a pay-per-view, but it's the first time we can probably remember. I know people. Yeah, I know people have tried to do that, and even honestly, recently, Sport Martial Arts tried to do a subscription service to watch all their live shows and things, and I don't really think that went as well as they thought it would.
It was just hard for them. They got undercut because other people were just bringing their phones out and going Facebook Live.
Correct. It's just a different.
Not their fault.
No, you got to break that. Just the culture, you know, you got to change it. So, so there's that. that's going to be interesting. $20 to watch it. I think. I mean, was it
That's
next
$20
weekend?
well spent.
Yeah, and it's going to be 4 fights, 3 rounds. Each of them are 3 rounds, right? So, I mean, that's some good stuff. I'm excited about it. And the other thing, adding like more clarity, because everyone's kind of like, they're going to get shut down. They're going to get shut down. You can't have that many people in a building or wherever. And it's like, and then they're going to have people that they're flying in. Well, no, they're not flying anybody in. Guess what? Kevin and Ryan are going to be doing it down south. They're going to be doing it there. That's pretty cool. So
it's really cool.
Yeah, like I said, man, this is like WrestleMania 2, man, where they had like 3 different spots and simulcasts from here to there. So
Jesse's a smart mind.
Yeah,
he's a good innovator in the sport.
Here's one thing I didn't hear. Are they gonna have anybody like commentating on this?
I don't know. Sign me up. I'm in.
Yeah.
Man. The Jeff, let's you and I do it.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
You could do the play-by-play, and I'll be the color commentary.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I guess there's going to be someone. I don't know who it's going to be.
Yeah, there has to be.
They'll have somebody.
Like that.
It's probably Jesse. I mean, it's his event, right?
Yeah, but or maybe it'll be based on who's there. You know what I mean? Like maybe Josh will do one or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I know because
it'd probably be better if it's somebody who's actually live at that event. So it'd be someone live for each event. But I don't know. You're talking to 2 guys who are no freaking clue. We're just talking out the sides of our mouth right now.
Yeah, but we're excited. I think it's pretty cool.
Let's talk about who the set matches are. So
predictions.
We have let's talk about who they are.
Yep.
And then we'll give our predictions as to who we think is going to win. Now let's talk about the rules though. What are the rules again? Jeff?
3 rounds.
It's
point. So it's I think it's 2 minutes.
2 minutes each. 2-minute rounds. 3 rounds
and
each.
Pretty much the rules are pretty much like Waco, except for like I think some of the penalties and stuff.
Nah, you're saying there's front hand of the body? There's no front hand.
No, there's not. No, I'm not saying that. Okay, I'm just saying like the point system. It's one, body
one
kicks
point
are
each
one.
way. So basically, you're saying body kicks
that.
are 1. You're just saying body kicks.
Point system. Yeah. Body kicks are 1, but they're doing similar to NBL rules where you do a jump spin kick or a spin kick to the body. It's a jump spin kick. Yeah.
One.
And then a jump
elevates
to the head. Yeah. So that.
Gotcha.
So there's that. If it ends up tied at the end, then the competitors get to pick. And if they're not agreeing on it, then they flip a coin. So
what do you mean competitors get to pick? They get to pick who wins?
No. All right. You didn't listen to the interview? Come on, man. All right. So what he said was that, so if it's tied, all right, what do you want to do? I want to do sudden death. I want to do a minute.
Oh, yeah. This is the part I didn't agree with.
Yeah. And then they're like, okay,
I think it should already be decided.
Let's just do a coin flip and then go from there. So it kind of, works whichever way. But now, again, say, I want to do sudden death. You want to do sudden death? All right, let's go. And they're going to both agree on it.
I'll tell you what. Here's what's going to happen. The guy who's coming back, who now he's got all the energy. Yeah, he's going to want an extra round. Right? That guy who's dying. And he's like, man, I don't got nothing left. Of course he wants sudden victory. Yeah. He's got a shot. He's got one, all right, let me muster up everything I've got. And this is one clash.
Right.
He could do that and win. But a full round, that's going to be harder. You know what I mean? It should be decided. Yeah. It's not saying one is better or worse than the other, because when time runs out, if you're tied, you're tied. Nobody won.
Right. But it also adds a little bit of element of surprise, which I kind of like, because I think in some ways
that's a good point too.
For a pay-per-view type event like this.
Yeah.
Especially if we're trying to get, I'm just saying, I mean, even watching some of the free ones we have live, in the middle of fight, I may stream, I may switch and go to something else. It's so easy to switch and go to something else now. So that kind of, I can't wait to see what happens, right? What's going to happen here? What's going to happen? That type of thing. That's why I think most people of anything would rather watch team fighting, because there's the strategy and there's the surprise. Who's going to come out next? What's going to happen?
Well, and you can watch 2 rounds of a team just killing it, and then
the other person come back.
The other last guy lays an egg.
Yeah.
Right? I was part of a team where a guy was up by 11 points.
Yeah.
And we lost.
Yeah.
In the last round. And I'm standing back like, this did not just happen.
Yeah. I mean, I've coached my team to that where we were down 16 points, and my 15, 17-year-old came back, and we lost by 1 point. Yeah, it lost by 1 point. I actually did that too in Battle of Atlanta when I was a junior. We were down by 11, and I came back and lost by 1. Oh, man. Heartbreaker.
Wow. All right, here are the matchups.
Yep.
There is from Team Straight Up, Stan Rakov versus Team Next Level's Darren Payne.
Yes.
Now, forgive me on this one.
Yeah.
The pronunciation on this, I'm going to mess up. So, please.
Oh, Pro. Yeah, Pro. Yeah.
Oh, you got it?
Well, no, all right, I've known him for a very long time.
Then,
and we just call him Pro. That was always a nickname that we call him. Just call him
Pro.
Pro. Pro Lotto, whatever. Yeah, it's really hard to say it. But we call him Pro.
Versus Angel Diaz.
Yes.
Okay. There comes a couple of great ones. Ryan George versus Kevin Walker.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Always.
Bailey Murphy versus Tyreek Saint.
Yep. Another one. Yep.
Another great one.
Yes.
Now, so the reason why Bailey and Tyreek is so good is because, well, they're great friends.
Yep.
And they're both at the top of their game. And
Correct.
both lightweight fighters, both really young, both look like, hey, unless, something crazy happens, they're going to be around this for a while. Right?
Yeah.
So,
well, and they, all right, so they grew up competing against each other. They're still competing against each other.
You said grow up, like when they were like 8.
Right. And so they've still – so this is something that I'm glad that Jesse did, or the way at least it turned out. These top two, these are fights that – it's not like so many times
we've seen them.
Yeah, but this is something we've never seen before, because when that usually happens, a lot of times they're not as good as what we hope, right? With this, we know we got a proven, like, oh, well, Bailey and Tyreek is going to be killer. It is every single time. And same thing with Kevin and Ryan. To me, that's the fight that – I mean, I've seen these guys go at it for probably almost 10 years now. Maybe 7 or 8 years now.
Kevin and Ryan.
It's back and forth all the time, man. So, who do you think on – are we going to go down, or are we going to go up?
Let's go start like right from the top. Stan Rakov versus Darren Payne. Who do you got?
All right, so I don't really know Stan very well.
Neither do I.
Yeah, I've watched Darren, and he's really good. So I think he's gonna. I just think his consistency overall the past 2 years has been great. He's in a great camp. But again, underdog, man. Let's see. I think it's a great time for Stan to step it up. So
who are you picking?
I'm picking Darren. Yeah.
I got you. All right. We're 2 for 2. I'm picking Darren Payne.
All right.
Okay. Now we got Pro versus Angel.
Man, this is tough.
What are you going with?
You go first on this one.
You know what I'm going to do? I've actually seen Pro fight before. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
I've seen Angel fight before. Angel, like his brother Sam, we've used this term on the show a lot. He's got a certain amount of badassery to him as well.
Right.
Here's one thing I'll say, and we'll talk about the fights as to how we think they're going to go. It's a little difficult with the Stan versus Darren one because we don't really know a lot about Stan. So maybe this is going to really open our eyes. This could be the thing. This could open our eyes to something where we're like, man, I was sleeping on him. Maybe. But Angel, if this starts to get scrappy, Angel will take it. Angel will take it to the extreme. He will. Yep. Angel will take it there. Angel's an athlete. I'm going to pick Angel. I know Angel. I'm just picking Angel. That's really the extent of it.
I know both. Well, I know Pro actually better. Pro was with, I believe, Java School. And he was part of Richie Everidge's team for a long time. And so he had a good group around him of coaching and everything. Great talent. And I think let's see, you know, I saw him I remember we watched him at the, you know, WKC, and where he ended up being the last fight, and that just didn't work out well for him. You know, is finishing for the team fight, you know, USA versus Canada. So I think he has a lot to prove, you know, and I'm hoping that he's been training and working hard. I really like Angel. He's a big supporter of our podcast, but I'm going to go
Angel's
with,
a friend of the show.
I'm going to go with Pro, because I think he's got something to prove, and he has a good group around him that pushes him. So yeah.
All right. So we got our first
Split.
Split on that one. Okay. So now come to the main events here.
Yes.
Ryan George versus Kevin Walker.
This is one of my favorite fights ever. And man, I mean, it's been.
Let's talk about the fighters. Then let's talk about the matchups.
Right. So Ryan, I mean, one of the best pure kickers, I think, in sport karate, at least in America.
Right now? Yeah.
And he's an aggressive kicker. Like, he's trying to hit you. When you see it, it looks like, man, I don't want to mess with that, right? He's talented. He's got a lot of experience, and
he's a kicker like that. And let's not lie. He's a left side.
Yep,
that matters.
That's right.
That actually matters.
It does. You're right. Kevin has become one of the more well-rounded fighters. Is another actually great kicker, like you've talked about in the beginning of this year. Man, he's got some awesome kicks.
If this year would have panned out, man, like just normal, just schedule of events, I think we would have been in for a treat with some of the best kicking we've ever seen, and it probably was going to come from Kevin Walker.
Right.
I mean, there was a few guys I was really excited to watch. Kevin Walker, Zach Winder, and Enrique Latona. I was really excited to watch them kick.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Right. Yeah. So this fight's it's pretty cool, man. I mean, they've been going at it since they've moved up to adults. A lot of times in NBL tournaments, that's kind of where this kind of rivalry kind of started. They've always been the same division, and in NBL at least, and then they kind of switched back and forth. But yeah, I mean, they've had to fight at least, like, I don't know, 15, 20 times, I feel like. But maybe it's not that many. But I know every year at my tournament,
easily. You got to factor in team fights too.
Yeah, so every year at my turn for about 4 years in a row, it would be one of them coming out of their division or within weight class. So Ryan won like the first year. Then after that, Kevin won like the next 3 years or whatever. So they've been going back and forth. They've been doing
They're very familiar with each other.
They're familiar. So, and even this year, they've gone, I think, back and forth. So,
all right, let's talk about how they fight, though. So, not as far as a prediction on the outcome, but a prediction as to how they're going to fight. The unknown for what I think is, how is Kevin going to fight? Because we've already talked about that. Kevin can fight a number of different ways. And not that Ryan can't. Ryan's just pretty dang successful fighting this way with that lead leg being a strong attack. And that's not to say that Ryan can't do everything.
He's got some good hands.
He can. Yeah. Ryan can do everything. But it is that style. He's going to give you what you're going to expect. You just may not know when it's coming or how.
He's also real unpredictable too, like with his spin kicks. He can do some spin kicks out of nowhere. He can do some random things.
I'm not sure that that's going to matter in this match.
True.
Open stance because Kevin's going to have his right and Ryan's going to have his left.
Yes.
I think here's what I think is going to happen, and that's probably going to change now after I say it because it's going to be out there.
Yeah.
I don't think Kevin's going to kick as much as we saw him earlier this year.
Right.
Against Ryan. And not that he can't kick with Ryan. I just feel like he's going to pick and choose that a lot more.
He's going to get back to his movement and everything.
Yeah.
Right? So that way he catches him with his leg on the way up or whatever. Yeah.
Now the hard part for this one. So for the first two, we kind of picked, I think that guy's better. Yeah, I like him. I don't really know why. I just picked him. This is different because we're talking about 3 rounds.
Yeah, you're right.
A half of a round the whole match can get away from one guy. You know what I mean? Let's say, all it takes is Ryan was just up by 2 points. Maybe he was up by 3. Okay, no big deal. We're still in the match, right? One little slip from Kevin, there goes a head kick. Kevin tries to jam, bang, Ryan goes high with another head kick. Now he's up 7.
Yeah.
That changes a lot. Now they have clashes. They have a clash, let's say it just happens to go Ryan's way when it's literally just a clash. That stuff happens. Then that match ends. That round ends. It's really all of a sudden you got to re-catch back up. It's challenging.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's going to be like when they come. Like, all right, is this fighter going to be able to carry this momentum after the round ends? Is that round ending going to be a bad thing for that guy who was just ahead? I don't know.
I mean,
find out.
It really, both of these guys, their fight, all the fights in their history have been based either on, I think it's again, it's always mental. I mean, that's what I really think it is. It's just sometimes they get in their own heads or they get complacent, oh, I got this. All right. And then all of a sudden something happens. So, and I think they're both, of anyone fighting like out right now, they are probably two of the most in shape and have been training harder than probably most people over this quarantine. So, and
when you look at just pure talent level over all the fighters right now,
I
mean, they are some of the more talented guys. They could fight anybody, super heavy to super light. They could, match up against anybody height wise,
right?
Or not vertically challenged, know. They both can do it really well, but they're both about the same. As far as all that goes. Where's your prediction lie? In the end, someone's crowned the champion. Who's it going to be?
So I have my prediction, but I also think that it's something we hadn't even talked about yet, but who's going to be in their corner, I know you say it doesn't really matter, but I've seen Kevin fighting change based on who's behind him. And I've also seen the same way with Ryan.
Well, I would assume it's going to be Josh behind, and Chris behind Kevin. So you're right. That does kind of mess with my head now.
Yeah, it changes. It changes.
You're trying to mess with my head.
I think Ryan has done well with Alex or Josh behind him, but I still like Ryan with his dad. To me, his dad, and you ask people like Willie or Regina, and they'll tell you that Ronald is a great coach and he gets them calmed down when he needs to. And
who you got?
And so I'm going with Ryan. So I'm going with Ryan. So
I was leaning towards Ryan.
But now
that you picked Ryan, I'm going to pick Kevin. And Kevin does this. You know what Kevin does? Kevin does this to me all the time. Anytime I pick against Kevin, he ends up winning the whole dang tournament.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, I get it.
So I'm not going to do it. All right. I'm going with Kevin. All right. I'm going with Kevin Walker. All right. Now we are on to the Young Lions. All right. Here we are. Bailey Murphy versus Tyreek Saint.
This is a tough one.
This is it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Here we are. So this was the matchup. Wait, no, it wasn't this matchup for the Diamond Ring, was it?
No.
It was Enrique. Was who?
Yeah.
Bailey fought.
Yeah, it was Enrique. Yeah.
Yeah, because Bailey and Tyreek fought before that. Or do I have this totally wrong?
Right. No, you're right. I think so.
I didn't have it right. You sure?
No. There might have been somebody else that was in there because wasn't Justin in there at one of them, or Jack? Jack lost to Enrique, right? Yeah, he did. And then I thought it was Justin Ortiz was in there, and
no, it was not.
Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead. All right.
So we got Bailey Murphy versus Tyreek Saint. Both have been featured on the show in one way, shape, or form. Bailey was a guest. Tyreek was my first competitor of the week.
Right.
All right. So I remember just, we've seen Bailey, start to win some stuff, and I kind of knew it was Tyreek. And I just remember watching Tyreek just run through guys, and I watched him just put the whoop on Bailey. and just one specific tournament. And I'm like, and then this one, he put the whoop on him. And I was like, what in the world happened? Then I did some research, find out, oh no, these guys have been fighting each other for years.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just they were just fighting when it didn't matter to the most of us, to the masses, because they were juniors or they were like blue belts.
Yeah.
Right. So okay. I mean, right now it really looks like physically both of these guys can do it all. All right. Mm-hmm. They're fighting for Team USA or when they go and they fight international. They're winning championships. They're in the mix to win it all. And Bailey had some lofty goals when he was on the show. He said he wants to win 11 Irish Open championships. He says, if there's someone out there who's got 10, I guess I got to win 11.
Got to win 11. Yep.
I know. Yep. Wow. That's a lot, man.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever said I've got to win 14 NBA titles because Bill Russell has 13.
Right.
Because this was just lunacy. Yeah. People don't even play 13, 14 years. You kidding me? You win 14 titles? What's wrong with you? No. Right. So he said that. He said, I guess I got to win 11 Irish Open championships.
Yep.
I don't know. So, what are you thinking when you see these matchups and when you're talking about this? We got Team Straight Up versus Team KTOC.
So, like, all right, when the pandemic hit, Bailey was just getting back into I guess he went to Irish Open, but he was kind of still doing his track and field type things, right? He was just getting back into the swing of the year and stuff, right?
Sure.
And I know for me personally, I thought Tyreek's performances, like, he didn't live up to where he could have been at Irish Open. Now, I'm not saying he didn't do well. He did well. He had a lot, but the end result wasn't where, and then that next week he shows up in Philly and he's just fighting amazing. He's whooping everybody. And he had a great fight with Cam. And, his size difference to Cam is like, it's a lot,
Yep.
But he didn't let that deter him. So just his he's impressed me. He always has since he was a kid with just his way to just keep pushing forward, and he's not soft at all. He's going to he's a hard dude, man. He's going to keep pushing. I think Bailey knows that. I mean, he admits it. That's his toughest competitor. He thinks is Tyreek. So we're going to get that.
I think between the two of them, Bailey has more championships.
Yes. But I think it's kind of like who has beaten Bailey the most, right? Tyreek. It's like the Donald Brady, Pedro Xavier combo.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
Right. Who's beaten Pedro the most? This guy. Who has more championships? Yes, Pedro. But who had, it's one of those things, right? So,
but the other thing is,
I'm gonna go with Tyreek, man. He's in a new stage in his game. He's got a new team behind him. He has,
Oh, that's right. He does have a new team. It's not KTOC. What was I thinking?
No. Yeah. So
it's top 10 USA.
Yeah. So he, I just think, you know what? A lot of people didn't get to do what they wanted this year. So let's go. Let's see what happens, And I like Bailey. I mean, Bailey, I think, is one of my favorite fighters to watch. I just kind of feel like Tyreek's going to step it up. So
you got nothing really to put it on. You're just like, I just kind of feel like,
yeah, I mean, there really isn't.
Flip a coin.
Again,
dude, we're basically flipping coins.
We basically
on this
we don't know what's happening. We don't have like a whole season to kind of see, oh, did you see what happened here and here? But again, my biggest thing is who fights Bailey the best? Probably Tyreek. So
it's frustrating because I picked Tyreek also.
Yeah.
And for the exact same reasons.
Yeah.
All right. And here's honestly, if you go off of what you have seen, what evidence do you have? Long-term evidence. You would go, oh, well, I guess the safer bet would be to say Bailey Murphy, right?
Right.
If you would take emotion out of it, which is just such an emotional activity, right? You would go, well, look at it. Yeah, he beats him more.
Yeah.
But he wins more. When he beats him, he doesn't always win the whole tournament.
Right.
you would think, all right, but they're fighting each other.
Yeah, they're
it's
fighting
a
each
set
other.
match.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
different. All right, I'm going to
is
agree with you.
different.
I'm going to go with Tyreek too.
Yeah.
I'm going with Tyreek.
So, I mean, that's something that I like about these. I think Jesse did a good job. He had a good mix of young guys and then some fights that we have seen that we know are going to deliver, which you got to in this thing. You can't just do everything that, you know, when you're going to do more than one, if you're just going to do one and do the rest of your tournament, okay. But that's why when I ever did set fights, I did it at the beginning of the event, not at the end, because I didn't want it to be like, because you don't know, man. I mean,
if you lay an egg, you got the rest of the
Correct. Correct. Yeah. So like when I had like Carlos versus Cass, right? I did in the beginning of the tournament. Yeah. When I did Joe Fife versus Kirk Jenkins, it was at the beginning. When we did those types of things, it was at the beginning of it.
Well, I got an idea. Yeah. Let's talk about what would be some other cool like set matches you think? All right,
that we'd like to see.
This might be good.
Right.
But now for this, they'd probably have to be in the same area.
Yeah.
I have one I was thinking of.
In the same area?
Yeah. Same general area.
Okay.
I was thinking of Michael Jefferson, Leon Jefferson.
Yes. And that's actually a pretty good fight. And it's been a while since they fought.
Yeah.
So,
I think that would be really good.
That would be good now, especially since everything's changed. I'd love to see what Leon is doing. I don't know, you know.
I don't know either.
One of my favorites.
He could turn it on. He's athletic enough that he could just turn it on. I would assume. Dude's style is. I mean, I gotta tell you, I love Leon Jefferson's style. If I could just like have a person's style, it would be Leon Jefferson's. That guy is cooler than all get out.
He is.
Yeah.
So here's one, and it's not a first time. They've fought plenty of times, but I know that there's a thing. There's a thing to where like they want that win back, and it's Gina Thornton and Katana, and that is So that's one, and they're in Virginia or Georgia. We can make that happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, still like when I guess it was when Katana won her first diamond, you know, Gina was still kind of frustrated about that loss. So there's things there that I think would be great to see. So in a set type, thing, not having to go through everyone else, just, all right, you and me, we're fighting, you know? So that's one.
Now, here's one. They're not close. I know this, but it's not fantasy. Like, we did so many fantasy ones. Like, all right, who would win between Trevor Nash and Anthony Price?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, that was never going to happen. You know, we did things like that. Yeah. And that is an interesting matchup right there. I tell you what, I would love to see that one.
Oh, man.
This is Trevor Nash and anybody else. Anthony Price and anybody else. I would love to see that. But here's one that I would really love to see. Chance Turner versus Cam Dawson.
Oh, yeah.
And a 3-round set match. That is bound.
Yeah.
If it's on a stage, to go off the stage.
Off the stage.
It is bound to have people running inside the ring. You know, they might need to alter rules for that one.
I've actually seen them. Well, no, that's a different one. No, I mean, I've seen them go at it, but yeah, no, I've there was one that was in Texas where it was Ryan and Chance, and they went off the stage, and it got crazy. And then the people that they fell onto actually ended up fighting, and it was insane.
See, Chance can do that because Chance is so stupid athletic.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah.
And I remember one time at a tournament, I did this. I was just like, yeah, man, how's it going? And I put my hand on his shoulder, and it was like I just smacked a boulder.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, dude, where the heck does your shoulder start and end? They're not supposed to make people like you. What the heck is this?
Right.
You're not supposed to do karate tournaments. Get out of here. But he has a way sometimes of not channeling his athleticism as intellectually the best way possible. There was a tournament where he and Ray Raymond Daniels was fighting, and I was going to fight the winner. And I'm like, all right, like it would seem like I'm going to fight Ray just because Ray is Ray, right? You kind of have to plan for things like that. But I'm watching how this match is going to go. And Chance blitzes Ray, gets him, and then shoves him. Right?
Oh man!
Like he's Shaquille O'Neal shoving Dudley down to the ground, right? Like that does the same thing. Shoves Ray down to the ground through the ropes, and the pole falls down on him. And I'm like, great. And I'm like, you're gonna piss this dude off.
Yeah. And
then he's just gonna be pissed, and I gotta like, why do you do that, man? So, and then sure enough, I'm like, this is fantastic. But Ray and I have never had any beef, so he didn't carry that on.
Yeah.
I was at least able to have the match. That's what you want. I want the match,
Correct.
just the match. Don't carry somebody else's drama over into this match.
Right,
I just want you. You know what I mean? So Chance has the ability to do that. But hey, man, Cam's itching for it. He is the man right now, and he's itching for it. Like, give it to him.
There's certain fighters that I'd like to see in just set fight. Like, I just feel like some of them are just at that point, that level, that people are just intrigued to see them fight anybody. And I think Cam is one of those people, like people are interested to see what he would look like against someone, like from Europe or a top guy, and like, especially in where he's at right now, like, let's just set it up. Let's not just hope that it happens. Let's make it happen,
Yeah.
But right now in this pandemic, we can't get Europe versus USA like we want.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, who else would you do? Two guys that are like, it's possible. Like next year when this thing kicks off, like, hey, we might actually see this. What do you think?
I mean, I like the original one that was supposed to happen in like January, just because it's different, is the Bailey and Anthony one, because it's just different. Like people are like, whoa, this is odd. This is weird. Those are the ones that end up being really good, It's just different styles and different weight classes, Everyone wants to put the weight classes together. Like, let's see what happens, like when a big guy goes against a small guy. You can do that in point karate way better than MMA or kickboxing or boxing. So I like that.
There's two other ones I really want to see, and I think are possible. Justin Ortiz versus Richie Perez. I really want to see that. I really want to see that. And in this one, for just the same reasons we talked about the Cam and Chance one, I want to see Tomas Imre versus Obeda Benwali.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Obeda is bound to go off.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
Tomas is not guilty of having a lot of respect when he fights.
Correct.
Yeah, we'll put it. Dude, I'm gonna put it like this. I don't care if anybody gets upset. Dude's a freaking jerk. All right. Yeah. He's a freaking jerk when he fights. I respect his success and how he always brings it. No, but he's an a-hole when he fights. I'm gonna put it like that. All right. Mm-hmm. But whatever.
All right.
Now that I just dropped that bomb.
What set fights is it that you've liked before in the past? Like, what are some of your favorite ones?
Preston Clements versus Raymond Daniels.
Raymond, yeah, that was
Preston
good.
Clements, because I was like, Gators, could this be good? Yeah, you're right. Gator Nation. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Is this gonna go? And Preston never quits. Yeah, that he's always fast off the line, but he's fast off the line, tall, long, left leg, strong. So it neutralizes a lot of the stuff that Raymond would do. So that one was good.
Right. One of the things that Capital Classics used to do, and they did it 2 years in a row, and they would do like the Dream Team, which was like Linda, Arlene, and who was the other? Rhonda Alexander, right? Sure. And sometimes it would change. So they had 3 legends versus the top 3 women of the time. So at that point, I think in 92, 93, it was Prestige, right? So it had like Nikki Carlson and Peaches and several others on that team. I think Michelle Arango was on that. And they went at it. And it was insane. It was some of the best team fighting I've ever seen. It got vicious. And the Dream Team won. like, and it was pretty cool. It was like that 92, 93, maybe 94 range, and that was cool. And that just made the whole event. So they
see, it's because it's the drama, it's the story.
Yeah, it's the story.
It was just like we talked about before. It's the story that built up.
Right, and then they were all at that stage of like still able to fight, like not, you know what I mean, like Linda's still competing at that time, and Arlene is still kind of, you know, they're not like 10 years out from their prime. They're like 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
That was
when you're
real
1 or
good.
2 years out from your prime, you never knew you were.
Correct. So it was that was pretty cool. So that was one of my favorite ones growing up. And then one of the other ones was Ryan McGriff versus Willie Hicks at Vegas. Right at, you know, like it was a year after their whole thing at Diamonds where Willie dropped Ryan, and that just kind of kept the talking and everything going. And
I was at that Diamonds.
That Vegas thing was fun, man. It was a good one. So
Willie dropped a few people that day.
Yeah.
He dropped my brother.
Oh, really? Oh, dang.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, it was a super fight. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, okay.
It's not like, you know, like.
Right.
My brother did no training. He came back. He did no training. It was just right after he came back from the Marine Corps. Dude gets back from Iraq, and he's like, I guess we'll do this karate thing again. And I'm like, yo, man, this game's changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? And he goes, oh, what is it? And I was like, no, this is a super fight. It's not exactly the same. You might not get it. It's a little confusing.
Yeah.
He's like, no, it's full contact. What the frick do I care? I just got back from war. And I'm like, oh, accurate, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it was a little different.
Man.
Like you could tell, like, you probably should have trained a little bit.
All right.
Whatever.
So who?
Let's get on. Let's get to these competitors of the week. Yeah. Let's get to them.
Who's yours?
Well, mine. You kind of hinted on the team a little bit. I didn't think you were going to when you hit Team Prestige.
Oh.
Yeah. My competitor of the week is Hakim Alston.
Oh, all right. This is a good one.
Hakim.
From my area, man. From my area.
Is a giant. All right.
Yeah.
So Hakim Alston he's a very talented fighter. But after his fighting career, he went on and did a bunch of stuff in the films. And this dude, he should have been a fitness model if he wasn't. I swear.
My God, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Insane.
I got a man crush on your abs. Get the heck out of here. You know. Anyway, I'm like, it is going a little too far. But hey, what am I supposed to say? I'm in pandemic abs.
Oh my God.
He's him. But
dude, he was in a lot of stuff like WMAC Masters, Mortal Kombat.
Here's a funny
Shoot
thing.
Fighter.
We'll get back to his competitive days, but here's a funny thing, okay? So my wife is told she's got this way of doing this, right? I mentioned this on the Matt Emig show once about what she did with Matt.
Oh yeah.
This was just I had no clue Hakim Alston was going to be at this bad of Atlanta.
That was 2015. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
My wife was with me, and we're just hanging out in just the same exact way. She's bored. We're talking to a bunch of karate people she doesn't know. And oddly enough, I was just flicking through Netflix the week before, and Mortal Kombat was on. And I was like, oh, hey, look at this guy. She's not even paying attention. She's probably doing a proposal, something for work. I was like, oh, no, this guy's a karate guy. She's like, oh, really? He died. And I was like, you know what? Stop. Whatever.
Wow.
He's actually really cool. He's really good. She's like, apparently not. He just died. And I was like, no, you know what? Whatever. I'm not giving the karate guy respect, okay? So then he's right there. And I was like, oh, hey, remember the movie Mortal Kombat that we saw? She's like, oh, my gosh, I just saw you. You're so cool. And I'm like, you were not saying that. Well, I didn't out her. You know
you should have. Oh, he would have loved that.
Yeah. I would not have loved that. So,
man,
that was
funny.
interesting. But no, back to his competitive time. So Hakim, he really is. I think he's like 6'5" or 6'6", right?
Yeah.
So, and if you watch his fights, he really, I don't think he fully utilized his physical abilities.
Correct.
During his fighting prime. I don't.
No.
I didn't get a chance to see all of his fighting because, he goes back to the 80s, right?
Right.
So, which I didn't see that.
But I mean, really,
but I watched videos of it.
His career was short, man. It wasn't as long as what it could have been. You know what I mean?
But his impact was high.
Right. Like,
And
man,
he was winning too.
That's one where I would love to see him and Trevor, because those two guys, oh God, you know, like
I don't think. See, that's one of those. I don't think would go. I think Trevor would win.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, Hakim was just vicious, dude, and that's kind of what reminded me.
He had a persona.
Yeah.
He had an aura.
Right.
And so he's so big, all right, and but his attitude is big too. Like, you knew it. Like, but hey, it was like the name of the team, Prestige, right? He carried himself like that,
right?
Which really super cool colors, black and
before
teal.
that,
awesome colors for the team.
Or before that, Force One, he was a force of one. Like, he was.
You ain't lying.
So
Hakim Alston, super. Look him up, guys. Go watch some of those videos. I mean, when I say this stuff like, oh, he's a giant out there.
Yeah.
No, he really is. There's a video out there. I remember watching it.
Is it the one of him and Mafia? Okay, yeah.
Oh, but even then, when he's fighting Mafia is no small guy.
No.
He's towers over him.
Yeah.
So,
it's crazy.
Guys, look him up. My competitor of the week, Hakim Alston. Amazing guy.
Yeah.
Right. He had planned on being around more karate tournaments then. He and I were chatting a little bit that day.
Yeah. He So one of my favorite 3-man teams growing up, just watching more, was Shaw, which is his brother Shaw Alston.
Yeah, Shaw Alston.
Ibby, and Hakim. And they didn't get to always fight as much, but when they did, man, that three is just awesome, you know? So, all right, who's my competitor of the week, Alex?
You do this all the time. You know what? All right, let's think here.
Let's go into the Rolodex.
Your competitor of the week. See, I want to pick guys I know that you're close with so that I'm going to get a good story. So here's what I'm going to pick. Your competitor of the week is Freddie LaPan.
Oh, all right. So, Freddie.
Jeff does this. Jeff's the only one who could do this, by the way, when he's just like, no, I want you to pick my guy. And I'm like, how do you do that?
So, Freddie LaPan.
I go do all this planning.
So, he's from Vermont. And, man, Freddie, to me, is one of the best team fighters, I feel. He has an amazing
dude.
win record, you know, being a part of teams. You know, and man, so he was a part of Trade Winds, part of TDS. These are teams in like 97, 98, 99, under Mike Conroy. And then he shifted over to Team Elite in 99 and, you know, brought some good success with us with 99, and into 2000 was really when he was a part of that winning team that kind of, you know, went from
on CJB
from 2000 Elite till 2001 CJB, and we were undefeated for a year. And he was a part of several of those wins. You know, he was a part of the Super Grands win over Bay Area's best. He was a part of the Diamond Nationals win. He was a part of a lot of those, and just a solid foundation. You know, he did what he did well. Now, I'm not saying he was perfect all the time. You know, that's everybody, all of us. You know, we all have parts. But man, this dude is just you know he's not going to get tired. So that's one thing that you can't worry about. He is a physical specimen. He is in the best. I mean, even now, I mean, he is still like he's one of the most ripped dudes I've ever seen.
I mean, I don't know. Do you think he's 50? He's got to be in his late 40s. All right.
He's in his late 40s, but I don't know about.
He's in his late 40s, but this dude, I don't think he's got 4% body fat.
Yeah, it's insane, and
it's not fair.
No, and so like for me, a story. Well, all right, there's several.
Freddie LaPan ain't never had a Chicago dog in the day of his life.
Right, like man, he's just and he's got this big old freaking panther tattoo on the top of his like quad, all the way down to his knee, and I'm just sitting there like, dude, that's gotta hurt. Yeah, but I just sat there and just whatever. Like just crazy, just crazy stuff like that. Always a great guy, one of the nicest people to meet, but dude, he will mess you up if you kind of wrong him, So Super Grands 2002, he's doing continuous fighting, right?
Okay.
And so Freddie is a great continuous fighter. That is something that when we started doing the NBL, he started doing extra things like continuous, and he won. He was undefeated. The other thing he started doing that people don't know, he won the Kempo division 2 times at the tournaments that he did, and he won forms several times.
I knew that.
And he was a great Kempo stylist from Valari's, and Tokyo Joe was his instructor, same as Mike Pombero. So we're at Super Grands, and this guy, I don't know what this guy decided to do, what he was doing. He was fighting a guy from 5 Knuckle Bullet from Jerry Roberts School, and the guy just clinches him and just knees him in the face. And Freddie's trying not to kill him because he's kind of outclassing him, right? And he knees him, and for some reason the center ref didn't DQ him or didn't do anything, or didn't even. He's like, "Come on, are you serious?" Like, coaches, of course, Conway's like, he kneed him in the face. Oh no, whatever. So Freddie looked at coach and was like, and he was like, "Can I get him?" "Yeah, get him." Whoa! Just dropped him, knocked him, blood everywhere. Freddie's DQ'd. Coach is like, "Hold on, he just kneed him in the face, and you can't,
Which is an illegal move,
right?" So
he just did 3-4 legal
moves.
moves.
This is when the time that the videotape evidence could come into effect. So someone had it and showed him, like, "Look, he just kneed him in the face." "Oh, okay, yeah. So you can't be DQ'd. This happened earlier. You were trying to hurt him." So it went the other way. It was crazy, but I don't remember the definite way they did it. I don't know if they threw the match out or if they just said kind of, but Freddie went on to win the world title and beat that guy again. But, dude, just coach, let me get him. Yeah, get him, and dude, he's just a beast. When we were doing Hayabusa, he went to compete for the Waco world title, and that was his goal, to win that. So it was really cool. And he won that. Yeah, he did. So
he won the ISKA world title that same year.
Yes, he did. So like Freddie, man, he's just an amazing fighter. Just a part of a lot of big wins that people may not even know, and also himself too. Just again, I would love to see him fight more continuous style fights. I would love to see him compete more at Kempo because I think, man, he's just an overall amazing martial artist. And you guys, if you fan him on Facebook, watch his dojo talks and his mat chats with the students.
Yeah,
amazing guy, amazing leader. So
is he still competing?
Sometimes, yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah,
Freddie's
man.
367 years old. He's still competing, but Travis is retired.
Oh man.
Well, what am I saying? I'm retired too. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to out somebody else.
That's right.
I'm retired.
Oh man, that was fun. Yeah. That was fun though. All right, so hey guys, guess what's next week?
Next week's a big week.
Dude, it's crazy.
I know,
man. It's crazy. So
next week will mark our 1 year of doing Inside Scoop. It just seems like a few weeks ago when we were chiming in on CTE.
And I can't wait to share
a show. We didn't even have a name for the show.
No, we didn't.
For like a month.
Right.
Do you remember what I called it? Do you remember what I first wanted to call it?
You wanted to call it Story Time with Uncle Jeff or something like that. I'm glad we didn't do that. Oh man,
that was fantastic.
Dude.
I still
and there's still so many things from our first episode that I think was out, but we never promoted. Because the audio was so bad.
Yeah, the audio
I don't even think we've shared. I don't even think we shared some of those yet because no, we can talk about some of those things.
Oh, we can talk about it. No, we can't share that audio, man.
No. What I'm saying is like there's certain things I'm like, oh, I already talked about it. But in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, I've already shared this before. Oh, wait, but no one's heard it. So we're going to have to listen to that and get into it so we remember that. But, yeah, I'm excited just to share. It's just crazy to me. I told my girlfriend that, and she was like, really? That was that time? Do you know how crazy that is that I was starting a new job. I was opening up my new school. I was starting a new like 4 or 5 new things that I was doing at that time. All of that is like, you're nuts.
But which one's the most fun out of all of those things? Which one's the most fun?
Oh, yeah, this is fun.
It's the Inside Scoop.
Right. Right. Oh man. So it's crazy, man. So I'm excited. We're gonna be doing that next week and live on Facebook, and we're gonna make it happen
for that. Yeah.
Yes, we got lots of
probably,
big plans, man.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Chime in.
Yes.
We love.
Yeah, share your favorite stuff, man. Like, we're gonna have some fun.
Which one of Jeff's stories was your favorite? Which time Jeff told me to shut up was your favorite?
Your interview.
How about the guests too?
Yeah, the guests.
Yeah, the guests have been
our randomness.
fantastic.
What animal stories was your favorite? We've had some crazy ones, man. So.
Somebody jump on and please tell me I'm not alone with the bats. Because I tell you what,
I don't think anyone likes bats. I don't think anyone likes bats.
Nobody should, man.
No. Oh man! All right.
Well, we're out of
see you guys
time. We're
next
overtime. This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you next week for 1 year anniversary, man. Woo!